Hello, everyone, and welcome to another amazing episode of Love, Life, and Energy. I'm your host, Michelle Chung. So today I wanted to be talking about the three types of people looking for love and which one are you? This is really important for you if you're tired of the dating game, you feel like you've done all the inner work, but you still keep attracting the wrong men. Today's episode is going to be super eye-opening. We're going to dive into those three types of people looking for love and figure out, where do you identify most in this spectrum? And also, why do you keep attracting these emotionally unavailable, unconscious men who are not on your level emotionally, mentally, or financially, or even physically? And what it actually takes to become a true love magnet, someone who effortlessly attracts love, is abundant, and manifests and has that flow in her life. So let's dive in. Welcome to Love, Life, and Energy. I'm Michelle Chung, and this podcast is your go-to sanctuary for personal growth, designed for busy, career-driven women who are ready to embrace their highest potential and not settle for an average, ordinary life. Let's grow and manifest your dream life together. So today I've been noticing, over the last couple of months, I've been noticing a pattern, actually over the last couple of years doing all this work, that there are different levels of people looking for a partner, right? We're not going to match with everyone. We all know that. And we want to match with the right person who's aligned with us. And we know that we're not going to be for everyone. And we need to filter out and cut out as much of the non-aligned people, misaligned people from our lives, so it doesn't waste our time. And we lovingly give space to other people to make their match. We don't want to take up time and energy from the wrong people. So what I've noticed after working with hundreds of people worldwide is that there are three distinct types of people looking for love, and figuring out where you fall in this spectrum is going to be really important for you. It's going to help you understand where you need to go and what that next step looks like. Where is that gap? What does that gap look, and how to actually bridge that gap? So the type ones I like to call the unconscious survivor. So these people are unaware of their patterns, their behaviors. They're not really into personal growth, or let's say that they're not on this level of consciousness where they're awakened. They might not have that wake-up call that might call for some inner work, digging deep inside yourself to figure out what's going on. They may not have had that need to go deeper. So they live on that more superficial 3D level. And often that's operating from a place of survival. And I'm saying this from a biological, evolutionary level, where someone who's just trying to live life and is unaware that there's something spiritual or deeper going on. So just focus on going to work, making money, paying off the mortgage, having an enjoyable, pleasant enough life with reducing your worry and stress, career burnout, work-life balance, all that kind of normal stuff, right? And what happens is, because they haven't had this need to grow and challenge themselves and go deeper, they tend to be emotionally disconnected, maybe non-empathetic, and they might be people who are fun to hang out with and just spend drinks and going out with, doing some fun stuff, hobbies. They're not doing the inner work that you might have. Okay, so conversations with a type 1 unconscious survivor, pretty standard. Like, you'll meet him maybe on a date or at a networking event or social event or something like that. They'll ask, guaranteed, the same kind of questions. Where are you from? Where do you live? What kind of work do you do? What are your hobbies? What do you do for fun? What are your favorite restaurants, places of travel, etc.? Very pleasant, very everyday conversations, right? What's the weather like? There's very everyday kind of conversations, enough to get to know you, but not to really get to know you. And a lot of people are even afraid to go deeper because they don't want to put people off or seem weird or something like that, right? So this type of conversation is just about checking out your alignment in terms of status. This kind of conversation, often on that superficial 3D level, is just to see, are you above or below him in terms of status? Are you making more money than him? Is your career at a greater level than him? Is your living situation in a better way than him? So on this level, you're trying to find comparables to see if you actually will match together in alignment on that same level, because it doesn't work when someone is not in the same stage of life as you, for example. this kind of status checking is a concept that's generally accepted now, that no one actually goes into a relationship unless they feel like that new relationship, or even if you're buying something new, will actually elevate your status in life, will make you feel better, will make you look good in front of your friends and family and loved ones. That's actually going to make your life easier. So it's got to have some kind of positive benefit or change, right? That's pretty standard, that you will never go into a relationship unless you get some benefit out of it. Now, that's not saying in psychological terms that benefit may be in a very different way and not in a positive way, but it's still considered a benefit, right? Some kind of change that you perceive, that you feel fulfilled and need something from. Okay, so those kind of conversations, he wants to check, where are you in your life compared to where he is in his life? So if he sees that you're too high above him, he's probably going to lose interest or feel like you're competing against him, and that he can't be the one to teach you or guide you in any way. So for example, I met a woman at a networking event, and successful woman, project manager, does well in a job, said she was going on dates with men who seemed successful as well. As soon as they were talking about salary income levels, because he made less money than she did, she said that he started a competition almost, as in because she's earning more money than him. And it was crazy. And I should have asked, why was that conversation about money and how much you make in that conversation when you met somebody in the first place? It feels very ego-driven kind of conversation to be talking about how much you make up front with somebody, right? That's very much that checking your status level in terms of monetary. Are you above me or are you below me? So he loses interest because he doesn't feel like, as a masculine role in the relationship, that he can be the traditional protector type, that he can provide for you and care for you. So he'll lose interest and he'll go for a woman that he feels is on a lower level economically, so that he can have that empowerment for himself. Not necessarily power over, but to feel like he can contribute to somebody in that financial way, if he's still on that 3D level where survival and is the most important thing. Okay? Because he doesn't see you in that way and he doesn't feel like he can contribute to you, he's probably going to lose interest in you, friend zone you, disappear, or ghost you. So just never hear from him again. And you're like, that was actually a good potential. Why did he disappear? This is probably why. So especially if you're earning more money than him and he knows it, and he has self-esteem, or the ego is overdeveloped, then he will feel like he has nothing to contribute to you, because money traditionally for men is the main way of protecting and supporting you. So that makes that would be his main advantage in a relationship with you. And if he doesn't have that, he's not going to pursue you or see you as someone inspiring and somebody that he wants to be in a relationship with. He may still pursue you as someone that he wants to get, but he may not be his intention to continue a long-lasting committed relationship with you. What he's looking for is someone who looks up to him, that, wouldn't like to say it, but he's looking for his trophy girlfriend, someone he can show off to his friends and family, someone that will make his ego feel like he looks good, he's successful to his network, to his inner circle. He's a great catch. If a woman who's a great catch looks up to him, because this amazing woman who looks up to him and that he has her, then that means that he's doing well in life. So these are all the things that people think about and never say or never talk about, right? Type 1s, unconscious survivors, they're interested in survival. And I'm talking in that biological evolutionary sense. We're not having tigers hunt us down for food anymore. We're fairly safe in our society. So we're talking about psychological survival here, mental survival. So his main goal is to make sure his genes survive this rat race. He is not aware of the conscious or spiritual journey or any other way of living, because he hasn't had that need to dig deep and do the inner work. Okay. The thing is, type 1s, unconscious survivors, they're not bad people. Of course, they are just the way they are. They're just at the beginning of their love journey. So I talk a lot about in my webinars and my training about the love journey, and they're looking for a companion, not a conscious partner. They're looking for someone to kill time with. I actually, as a good example of a story, one man who came to me, he was looking for a partner, and I said that I could maybe help him. We could have a talk. He was looking for the right lady for him. He just wanted somebody who had the same interest. He was interested in the same sport as he was. And he's looking for someone who could appreciate the same sport and they could just laugh and have a good time and have that companionship and just enjoy the time together. And I'm definitely the wrong coach for him, and I only coach women anyway. But he was looking for somebody who was just interested in that type 1 type of relationship, the companion relationship for the unconscious survivor. So he didn't want to grow, he didn't want to change, because the last question he asked me was like, which dating app is the best one for me? And as you probably know, I don't advocate for dating apps or dating agencies, because that is not the way to meet your type 3 soulmate relationship, which I will discuss in a little moment. Okay, so that is the type 1 unconscious survivor. And basically, they often feel threatened by people who want to grow. They would say something like, even if you've ever felt this or heard this yourself in a relationship, that you're too much, that you're too intense, or that you expect too much. Chances are you've been attracting that type 1 unconscious survivor. Okay? Hopefully that all makes sense. Now, type 2, I call the conscious curious. Now, this is the type of person who most of my clients are before they join my program. You're a self-aware, emotionally intelligent woman. You want a soulmate partnership. You want to connect with someone on a deep level, not just a situationship, not just a companion relationship that you just want to kill time with and focus on your hobbies and playing sports together and things like that. And that's totally fine. But there's nothing on a deeper level in that type 1 relationship. You don't want just a maybe. You don't want to be wasting a lot of your time dating and filtering and attracting the wrong men. You want something that's really aligned and nourishing. So you're probably also the woman that everyone says, oh, she's got it all together. She's got an amazing life. She's fabulous. And you've already built an amazing life, and you're not willing just to settle to have someone. You would rather stay single than waste your precious time and energy with someone who drags you down, and potentially you have to look after in your later years of life. I've heard this as a complaint from many women. They'd rather stay single than have to look after a man who hasn't looked after himself, who has to be looked after. And we don't want to be mothering our partners, especially if you've had a divorce, you've had previous relationships, and you know what you don't want. So you don't want to fall into that kind of relationship in the past, especially when you're in your older years of life, after, like midlife or after. You want to have an amazing life. You want to grow and develop and be the best, have the best life possible, right? The thing is, you probably miss the intimacy and companionship of being with someone reliable, someone who's there for you. You want someone to share your life with and make plans with. And you may also feel tired that you're planning things alone. And the thing is, again, you're not willing to be in a relationship just for the sake of it. And that's totally amazing. That's probably why you left your last relationship, because that alignment with your values, your vision, your lifestyle, it's not there anymore. And you don't want to repeat that kind of mistake. You've probably done a lot of work on yourself already, the self-healing journey, your personal development, a lot of therapy, release type of work. You're aware of your emotional intelligence. You're aware of the spiritual side of life. You're curious and open to new modalities of maybe inner growth. You want to discover who you really are, because you're also wising up to the idea that dating more, going on those apps, doing what you've already been doing, isn't going to get you closer to meeting a soulmate, because otherwise you would have met him already, right? I'm sure you would have taken all the actions and you've done everything you can, and you're still not meeting anyone that you feel could be aligned with you in that soulmate relationship. You're also probably aware that something is missing, or that something is blocking you. And that if that block or that thing that was missing was discovered and released, that blind spot, that you could actually meet him quite quickly. And you're probably really aware that doing the same thing over again is the definition of insanity. So you'll come to a point when you're realizing dating more isn't the answer. You've got to try something different. And you're probably open to trying things differently, and you've heard of manifesting, you've heard of attraction, you feel like focusing on yourself is actually the right next step. And that's a key to meeting somebody, not by chasing, but just by attracting somebody naturally into your life, because what you've been doing doesn't feel right anymore, yet you're probably not sure about the next step to take. So here's the catch. Type 2 conscious, curious women often attract the survivor, unconscious survivor, type 1 men. Why? And you've probably been realizing and noticing this a lot if you've been dating, that you're getting these kind of unconscious men, because the type 1s, they see you as elevating their status. So not only are you someone who's, successful, off, independent in your life, having someone independent and not dependent on you is the holy grail of all relationships. People don't want to have someone that they can drag around unless you're a narcissist and you need somebody to control and abuse. But most people who are balanced and healthy want somebody else who's balanced and healthy. So that's why you keep attracting those type 1 unconscious survivor men. He feels like you're going to be a great catch for him and that he can show you off to his friends and family. But he knows that he can't truly get you. You're probably a little bit out of your league, or you've probably said no to him and he still keeps chasing you. And you're like, if only he was a different guy, then you would say yes, you'd be in a relationship together. You're kicking yourself because you're like, I wish if my standards were a bit lower, or maybe if I felt attracted to him, or maybe he was a bit more this, that the relationship could go ahead. But at this point, you have to say no because he's not the right one for you. So what you want is, you're tired of being the one who's always inspiring others because you're not growing yourself. You're constantly giving yourself to others. And for once, you want to just let go and be in your feminine energy and just be looked after and be provided for mentally, emotionally. Financially, you're probably secure in yourself and you don't need somebody to help you in that, provide for you in that way. And that's the traditional role of men, right? The financial providers. So once we don't have that, that changes the balance. And you want to just be more in your feminine energy and just be able to receive. But so far, you haven't found any relationships that have enabled you to just be able to be in your feminine and receive. You constantly have to take on the masculine role, the masculine energy, in order to get things moving in your life, get things flowing, have things happening, right? So you want to come home to somebody and be in a relationship with somebody who's going to take the lead instead of you having to do that all the time. So you want a man who brings something equally powerful to the table as well. Okay, cool. So that leads us to type 3, the authentic and aligned. So this is the version of you that your soulmate is waiting for. Okay. Type 3s, authentic aligned women, live on purpose. She embodies a healthy balance of her masculine and feminine energy. She knows her vision, values, and her mission in her life. And her lifestyle reflects it. She is living that on the outside. She doesn't chase. She doesn't have to. She attracts. Not because of any particular strategy or game playing, but because the way she lives, her energy is clear, it's congruent to her vision, and that is magnetic. An authentic aligned woman lives in her flow. Her life is actually full of effortless manifestations because she is aligned authentically. She doesn't have any subconscious blocks or limiting beliefs that stop her from having her deepest desires become reality. She's still a work in progress. No one is perfect, right? But she's learned to bend the universe to her will by being her authentic self, where she embodies the highest frequency because she's balanced her masculine and embodies her feminine and lives this on the outside. And so this is the only way that other people see her. And that is attractive. So her problems are type 3. She sees them as challenges for growth. And she learns from them because she realizes that life is happening for her and not to her. And she's not the victim anymore. She takes responsibility for her life, absolute responsibility for everything. So she embraces every experience as an opportunity where she discovers something new about herself. She's fully empowered and she understands how life, how energy, how manifesting, how universal law and everything works and it all flows. So her life becomes effortless. She's aligned with who she's truly meant to be. And she doesn't need to worry about meeting her soulmate because she's fulfilled with her own self-love. And she knows that he's also on his love journey. And when he's ready, he's going to find her. He's going to come looking for her. And so that means type threes don't need dating apps. Love finds them because their whole life is in alignment. It's set up to reflect that frequency of that soulmate relationship that they desire. And because of that, they're not looking for love. Because looking, seeking, desiring for a relationship, this level of frequency of when you have that of self-love of yourself, that naturally attracts the self-love of someone who's also equally balanced in their yin and yang. And that naturally attracts that kind of love that is aligned at a soul level. Okay. So when a type 3 woman meets a type 3 man, oh man, fireworks, right? That's when soulmate love happens. It's not a trauma bond where you're aligning on past experiences of hurt and trauma and negative experiences. You're not looking for someone as a healing project who is on the way to mending. You've done that already separately. You don't need somebody to heal you or fulfill you. And that's when two whole human beings come together, walking side by side in a balanced, interdependent relationship. And that's what I call that soulmate relationship. That's when there's no more guessing, there's no more waiting, there's no ghosting, there's no worrying, anxiety, or game playing. Is he the right man? Is he going to text me back? Is he going to call me? Type 3 authentic aligned women just know, because she's developed her gift of feminine intuition and she's taken intuitive action to put herself in the right place at the right time to meet her soulmate, to receive him into her life. And she never has to put herself in a situation that doesn't feel aligned or is disempowering. Okay, does that all make sense? So here's the thing. Type 2 conscious curious women are ready to evolve. And maybe you see yourself in this stage between type 2 and type 3, and you're on that journey towards magnetizing and attracting your soulmate. But there's still that gap in between. So now you know that that dating more, doing more of the apps, putting yourself out there, you know that's probably wrong for you. Otherwise, it would have happened already. So if you're a type 2 and you probably know that there is a gap and of where you are right now and where you want to be. So there's that step that we need to take in between. But doing all those things that you feel like are the way, journaling more, meditating, affirmations, manifesting, but you might still be feeling that they're just missing just one thing. Like I said, maybe there's some kind of blind spot or block or gap that if you just had that tweak, it would just all click into place. So you're not wrong. You are doing a lot, but you're not quite yet embodying your higher self. That's where we want to move towards. That's the love journey, moving towards your higher self. That's the version of you that she's not waiting anymore. She's not doubting and she's not hesitating. She's in her life, in her joy, in her flow. She's not doing the inner work. She embodies that work. And when you transform from type 2 to type 3, your life completely changes. Your standards elevate. It's effortless. Your boundaries are really clear and easily asserted. No more are those unclear boundaries, right? And the men who used to distract or drain you, the type 1s, they disappear. They actually become invisible to you. They'll actually feel like you're out of their league, that they can't actually get you, that there's no way that they're going to be on the same level to actually even attract you. So half the time they probably won't bother, or they might ask you for dates, but you probably wouldn't even consider them as a relationship. Because what's happening now is that you're attracting from your soul, on the soul level, from your truth, not from the potential of who you're going to be. And now that's a difference. Okay. Okay, so how do you actually make this shift? Like I said, it's not about doing more. It's not about doing affirmations. It's not another book that you have to read. It's not about loving yourself harder. It's going to be nothing that you're already doing, because doing more of the same won't get you a result. Otherwise, you would have done it already, right? It would have happened already. You've got to try something completely new and different to get to that next step, the type 3. It's aligning your life with your authentic self, that authentic alignment. That's what I teach inside my free masterclass, the 3 steps to meet your ideal partner without the dating. So inside that masterclass, I'm going to walk you through the real reason why high-achieving women keep attracting those wrong men, that why giving up on dating apps isn't just giving up on love, it's actually choosing better love, higher quality men, and how to shift into your alignment with your vision, your values, and your feminine power, so you naturally become the one that your soulmate is seeking. So if what I'm sharing in today's episode resonates with you, you'll also have the opportunity to book a free one-to-one call with me to explore about working together on my 12-week program, the Authentic Aligned Attraction System. And it's all about doing something differently and investing in yourself. And you need to remember who you really are and step into your higher self. So if you're a type 3, conscious, curious, you're open to growth and learning and trying something different, you're ready to evolve, you're done with playing small, compromising, shrinking yourself, or misaligning with men who don't meet you where you are, make sure you register for the free masterclass today. The link is in the show notes below. And remember, soulmate love isn't about something you're chasing. It's something you become open and receiving for. Okay? All right, amazing. Thank you so much. Sending you lots of love out there. I see you. I hear you. I know who you are, and I feel for you. There is a way to all this, and I'm going to help you. Make sure you register for that masterclass. I'll see you next time in the next episode. Bye.